it's Cara, and today I have a flickering light that's gonna be annoying the crap out of me. So I was silly and forgot entirely to have a video ready for Friday. So today's Monday. I normally have a video up today. This one might get up in time. This is Monday's video that I'm chatting with you today, but there's also going to be a bonus video coming up this week to make up for my lack of a video for Friday. So look out for that. It will probably be up tomorrow, Tuesday. So I'm going to do an extra bonus video this week just to balance that out. I also have the heater on, so it's another source of weird noises, but hopefully everything turns out fine enough. So today we're doing a review video, and I will be reviewing for you today Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I read this on audiobook, so this is what it looks like. I did love this book so much that I ordered myself a physical copy, but it's not in yet, so obviously I can't show you that, but I want to talk about it already. So let's get started. So Truly Devious follows two main timelines. The first one is Stevie Bell, who is a young girl in modern times going to this fancy prestigious boarding school, and she is obsessed with forensics and crimes and solving crimes. And then the other kind of thread timeline is this cold case from the 30s that took place at this school. So it's essentially a murder mystery located in this weird prestigious boarding house for geniuses, where they're essentially allowed to study how they want and where they want, with like some limited guidance. That's supposed to be the vision of this school. There's a strong focus on forensics and deductions, which is something I love. I did a forensics degree. I did a degree in forensic science and criminology. This is right up my alley, even though it's not what I'm doing anymore, but I love this stuff, so this was right my kind of thing. From that knowledge I noticed that this was loosely based on the Lindbergh kidnapping, which, if you want to have a Google of that, you can kind of see what that's about. Essentially, there's a rich guy, in this case, Albert Ellingham, who was the founder of this academy, this school, and he's in the Lindbergh case. I think it's Andrew Lindbergh, I can't remember exactly, but Lindbergh Sr. was a famous pilot, I think, like a stunt pilot, and his son was kidnapped from Charles Lindbergh. Charles sounds familiar. Their baby son was kidnapped from his room and held for ransom, and the ransom was paid, and then the baby boy was found dead. And so in the book we have the rich famous guy, Albert Ellingham, who owned this school, and his wife and daughter go missing, and the ransom note appears and the money is delivered, but his wife still turns up dead, but his daughter is still missing. So that's our cold case, which Stevie is there to solve. And that's essentially the plot of this book. But yes, I did like that I recognized the case it was loosely based around, so felt a little special. So our main character, of course, is Stevie, who is totally weird, in a great way. She's got such an interesting personality. She's has clinical anxiety that she's taking medication for, so that's good representation. But she's also probably got some kind of social anxiety. The way she thinks over her interactions with people is really interesting. She has a very interesting mindset, which is really fun to explore and lends itself well to like the deduction stuff. Like, I'd almost say she's got some of that like Sherlock Holmes high functioning sociopath kind of stuff, or like mild autism in that similar frame, where she doesn't quite know she is very formulaic with how she approaches social interactions, because she's super conscious of how it all goes rather than just going with the flow. And I thought that was really interesting and really well done. And then we have Albert Ellingham, who was the rich guy who set in the past founded this academy, and he plays a really strong role in this story. And then there's also a big cast of characters that are all attending Ellingham Academy at the same time as Stevie. So we have Ellie Elliman, I think her name is. I don't know how to spell that because I listened to the audiobook. Who is like the older girl who's really weird and plays saxophone everywhere. She's an artiste. And then we have Nate, who's writing his second novel that he's hoping to get published. And then we have David, who is a gamer guy who is very mysterious and kind of Stevie's love interest of sorts. And a whole bunch of other people at this school that all have really interesting personalities. Oh, and we forgot about Hayes. Hayes is another one of Stevie's kind of love interests who made a famous YouTube show, and he's there to like write the sequel. So that is kind of our cast. They're all really complex personalities, and the mystery is well woven into their personalities, and I thought it was really well done. Oh, and of course we have the character of Truly Devious themselves, who is of course the kidnapper in the cold case who left the ransom note. So yes, which they almost kind of form their own character with their own personality throughout the story, so that's really interesting. So the plot essentially follows Stevie at the start of her first school year, which is junior year at Ellingham Academy, and follows her through a little bit while she's trying to solve this case as her main like school project. And then it flashes backwards and forwards to the cold case. So Stevie's there trying to solve the cold case, but it's really well developed because although Stevie knows all this information about the cold case going in because she's pored over the files 1,000 times, she's there to try and find some extra clue that everyone's missed before, you as the reader kind of hear about the case throughout the course of the book and different things slot into place. And that was really well woven in, I thought. I'm normally pretty good at telling when things are important and how they click in together in murder mysteries, especially the less thrillery ones like this one. This is more murder mystery than thriller. And in this one, I was very impressed because although I could spot things that I then went, oh, that's important, that's going to be important later, I couldn't ever figure out until the reveals were made how they tied together. There's also a lot of reveals still to come for this series. It is going to be a trilogy, I believe, and the end of book one definitely leaves a lot of questions unanswered, so be prepared for that if you're planning to read it. The Academy really provides a unique microcosm for examining people and their interactions in this kind of like crimey, deducty way that Stevie has, and I really liked that. You get these very different personalities, they're all very quirky and weird, shoved together and interacting in one space, and that was just really well done in my opinion. And also it's at this academy is on the top of a hill in Vermont, of a mountain in Vermont, very isolated, and it just breeds this weird environment. Like I think one of the characters at the start says everyone just turns into rabbits because they're isolated, and that kind of affects the way people interact with each other, and I really enjoyed the way that was done. Also, because Stevie is at this school as a specialist in crime, I guess, she really wants to be a detective and that's what her whole project is, it really lets the story be focused around her solving the crime but in a realistic manner, where in any other way murder mystery novel it would make no sense for this 17-year-old to go searching for clues to the crime, whereas the way the story positioned our characters, Stevie was perfectly set up to go looking for the answers to this crime, and it's just really good. Overall, this is a wonderful murder mystery story. It kept me hooked. I wasn't even a fan of the narrator and I could not put it down. I'm definitely going to be, I obviously have already ordered the physical copy, and I'll be reading book 2 and 3 when it comes out eventually in the physical copies, because I just want to like absorb these so fast. Like I just want to be able to I think they're like a 2-day read if I was reading a physical copy, or a 1-day read. It was so good. I definitely gave this book 5 stars. Thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow with another bonus video. So look out!